right, peace, y'all. Welcome back to Beats, Beds, and Browns. It's been a slow off season here where the soil stays rich and the beats stay raw. We're excited to announce tonight Tyre Hakim kicking things off proper with a voice straight from the shy, an artist whose pen cuts deep and whose messages moves the culture. From Chicago's Southside to signing with Roc Nation, this brother's journey equals part grind and grace. A lyrical craftsman, a storyteller, and a soul that's as grounded as the roots in our raised beds. Please welcome to the garden, Mike, Tyre Hakim.
Thank you so much, man. I'm happy to be here. Excited for real.
All right, man. We appreciate it. We were cutting it up in the green room a little bit. I know this is going to be a great interview. I'm really excited. We're going to start, as we always do, with the same question. You know, where you at, where you been, and where you going?
I like that. Well, I'm in Chicago right now. I'm born and raised in Chicago, on the South Side, all over for sure. My roots are in Chicago. I'm going, I don't know, everywhere. Essentially all over the map. I've been so many places, and I plan to, travel. I love traveling, man. I enjoy traveling. I got a lot of things stored up or lined up for the future, man. I'm just, very patient. I don't like to force things. I've been letting things flow naturally. And, man, maximum outcome has been happening for sure.
Nice. So you talk about travel, talk about being all over the place. Are you a road trip guy? Are you like taking flights? You got your passport stamped up? What are you doing?
So definitely international. I've been, with music, I travel a lot. I got some shows coming up. Inshallah, next year, God willing, we're going to be doing a tour. I got some of the Unity merch. This is my brother, Golden Child, blood.
That's my blood. Yeah.
And literally. So we got some things lined up. And I travel back and forth for business. I have my own brand as well. And, I've just been connecting the dots in terms of business, legitimizing the business, in terms of copyright, trademark, different things. And I get pulled for so many different tasks, whether it's a speaking event at a school, whether it's welding or doing something like that. But I enjoy all work. If it's strenuous, I don't mind it. But everything has been smooth sailing right now, for sure.
Yeah, and talking my gardening, I love working up a sweat, etc. But you mentioned getting a small business, building a brand, and some of the IP stuff that you're going through. Talk to me about that.
So, God Body, that's my brand, and essentially it was inspired by God. And, anybody that knows me knows how important my relationship with God is. And my relationship with God is so strong and so important that, without that relationship, I can't have the proper relationship with anyone, anybody, whether it's business, financial, friends, this and that. If you're not in tune or aligned with yourself, your true nature of yourself, then that's when problems arise, right? So I just very, very, very intentional with what I do. Go ask that. My bad. It was so much. I could go so much.
Man, I'm already 3 questions ahead. So pardon me, but I know some other interviews I've seen, and you talk about God as an expression of the individual's highest self. And I know faith is very important to you in your music. Talk to me about that concept and how you have maybe transitioned lyrics and how you've transitioned as an individual as well.
Great question, man. That take me back. So God Body. Essentially, we all are vessels of God, bottom line. And it's a choice, a conscious decision that we have to make to allow him in, to choose to do right. This is what Jesus, all the prophets of old, they did. They submit their will to do the will of God. So not what I want to do, what would God? And people say, right? So I could go and get into some nonsense on my own. It's a conscious decision for me to say, hey, let me stay in, let me work out, let me eat right, let me think right, let me pour into myself, because essentially we are what we eat. And I had to say, damn, if this is God's body, the temple of God, like the scriptures say, what am I putting in my body? Am I even paying attention to what I'm putting in my body? Do I even care? And and over time, you got to go through some pain and resistance to get to this point. I didn't fall out of the sky like this, and that's why this is a great question. Growing up on the south side of Chicago, your environment shapes your thinking and your reality. And if you're listening to music that's talking about bang bang and I'm smoking this and I'm doing this and I'm writing this, I fell victim to my environment for sure, for sure. Even though I grew up in Islam, still your environment is going to shape your action and your thought and what you do. That's why it's so very important of what you allow yourself to eat here physically and eat here and here. All of it is food. So, I made a conscious decision. This is a true story. I was making music. I did some things that I'm not proud of and I don't glorify, but back then I did glorify. I talked about, I did this and I sold this and I did that. And I thought to myself, it's a long story on how this came about, but I thought to myself essentially, damn, I'm a part of the problem. Literally. I'm contributing to the hell that I see out here. I know how it feels to lose a brother. I lost a few people this month. I know how it feels to struggle. I know how it feels to not have. I know, so I can relate to those who are going through the same things. It's experience, and God allows it to happen so that you can be a better teacher. I didn't always talk about what I'm talking about now, but I made a conscious decision, right, to myself. I said, I'm not going to make any more music. I was conscious of the emotion that it invokes in the listener. How do they feel when they listen to my music? Does it make you want to go get high? Does it make you want to go shoot somebody? Does it make you want to think? Does it make you want to be a better person? Damn, that's what I'm doing. Does it make you want to stop doing the things that you shouldn't be doing? And essentially, artists are the teachers and they're the gods of this world. Bottom line, nobody is waking up and listening to Napoleon Hill or TD Jakes or long podcasts and lectures. The young guys that's part of the problem, or who are blind, which I was part of that. They're listening to music, and it's so important.
Was this a slow transition? I know the irony of it when you talk about, this environment is not inspiring, and was this just an album? Like you came out and went from one album and one style to now this is what I'm going to produce, or was it a slow transition?
Great question. I remember Shari Bryan, former president of Roc. We had that conversation, and No Idea included. We were talking about allowing your fans, your listeners to grow with you, because no, it was definitely not. And I struggle, still. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. But the fact, you got to be realistic about where you at. This is definitely a slow transition. This was years of time. I fought against it. I still made mistakes, bumped my head, being in certain situations now, talking about it. Oh, you from Chicago then? And I'm rapping about this stuff again. So it was just, I had to know myself deeper and deeper and deeper, because if you can be placed in an area and it changes now I'm this, or you adapting to your environment, then you're not sure on who you are. So it was definitely a slow transition, and I'm still learning and growing. I'm refining it now.
With that evolution, have the fans followed? Have you brought them with? I know there's the Unity movement. I know there's the Drill is Dead movement coming out of Chicago, New Chicago Wave. Like, have you found new audience or an expanded audience?
Definitely expanded. Let me take this great question, man. You really, what you do. Man, I got people that call me, right? We talked about that smile and being happy, about what you do. I got people that call me from all across the world and tell me about a lyric that I wrote, how it changed their life and how it's changing their life. True story. So people didn't fall off, and that's another part of that question. People are afraid to make this shift because, oh, this is what they know me as, and this and that, and I can't talk about this, I'm gonna lose. Now, see, I'm not doing it for nobody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it just for myself, I should say.
Well, it's the and concept. You can be this and that. You don't have to be this or that.
And it's so important. You know, in the music business, they say you got to have a character, something that people know you as, and this. And, you know, we were planning strategically with the label and talking about what you known as. And why not, you know, be yourself? Why not? You don't have to talk about some things that you don't do or done. I mean, where are you at right now? And I'm keeping it so realistic, and that's what I believe. When it is that hard shift, that's when people fall off and they, man, oh, he don't win, he done did this, da, da, da. Because, you know, I'm not exempt from that desire or that temptation. You know, it's still there, but I choose better. That's just what it is, and I've been
Every
encouraged.
day. Every day it's a choice.
Every day, every second, every minute. Meet the words that I'm saying, I'm choosing them. You know, say anything, but like you said, it's a choice. It's a conscious choice.
And talk to me about the transition. I think I heard Pyro was a name you used to go by, and now you go by your name. And talk to me about if that's the reason and the realization.
No, that's not. That's. See, I had a lot of people on this journey with me. You know, I've been doing music. It's in my blood, family, my mother, my dad,
And
and
gospel and R&B background, right? We got to touch on that too.
absolutely. So I grew up singing before rapping, um, and you know, I was young. You know, just like I told you, we were influenced by different things that we see in the environment. So man, I gotta have a rap name. I gotta have a rap name. And I said, Pyro. Okay, fire. 4 letters. My name is Tyre. I love the number 4. Um, and I'm like, you know, I gotta have something that's different in there. But I don't want to be a little this or a big this or, you know, let me say Pyro because everything I do is fire, right? And, you know, this is when I was around 15 and 16. And, you know, I was in business. I still know these brothers to this day. And they told me, they said, man, you know, kind of having a rap name is like a gimmick. I said, man, you think about the greats, the great greats. It's just their name, Michael Jackson. Said they mentioned J. Cole. They mentioned Kendrick Lamar. You know, I was being compared to J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar when I was 16. And I hate being compared to anybody, but I said, oh, you know, they're in their own lane, and you can't compare them to nobody. They're the pioneers of it. And I said, man, ain't nothing wrong with my name. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. And all of that goes back to being comfortable with yourself. You know, and so I thank a lot for them for telling me. You know, at first I had some resistance because I took a long time to, you know, to settle on that name, but it was a great decision that I made in my name.
Was that the first step towards feeling like growing into yourself right now, or is that still a transition?
I don't know if I would say it's the first step. Um, I wouldn't say it's the first step, and I wouldn't say that I'm transitioning still in terms or musically. I'm definitely growing and evolving every day, but I'm clear on my position and who I am. And now it's just about, you know, so I got so many songs, so many records. I think about I gotta tweak that. Damn, that's good. Or I can't put. I'm still living it. You know, I'm just very mindful of what I do because I don't ever want people to be confused. You know, and then he's saying this, but he's doing this, but doing that, and saying this, but see, it's like you said, it's just been a slow transition, and that's synonymous to the process. Everything develops in stage.
Well, that's the great thing about artistic expression. You don't
Mhm.
have to arrive at the destination.
Right.
Talking about the journey and the back and forth and the tug and the push and pull. Um, that's part of what you're revealing to your fans and the people who love your music.
That's facts.
How talk to me about the creative process and struggling through that of where do I relay my story point in time versus reflecting and future casting.
So, so if I, you know, I talk about things of the past and I talk about how I got through them rather than settling on that and this is this and this is that, right? You know what I'm talking about? So I bring them along with me. And when I talk about, when I make music now, I think about it because I got to think about everybody. Everybody is not even thinking, is conscious of damn near anything, you know, like common sense. I don't know. So I grew up loving words. That's very important to know. I grew up winning spelling bees back to back. I was at the regionals back to back. I was actually
Right, reading dictionaries growing up, right? You guys were.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I won a big Merriam-Webster dictionary about that thick, and I was cheap.
Necessary hazard for the wordsmith.
Literally, when I tell you, I would be in school in the middle of class, and I'd just be words, words. Then I used to compete in Greek and Latin root competitions. I won some of those.
Yeah.
Uh, I've been to so many different places, but I was in a writers conference, the young authors in Bloomington. I did that. Got a book published when I was young. I just enjoy words and being able to relay a message through words, a visual message, right? So with that, I learned the importance of words, and I'm very careful, but I know. Remember, I told you I lived the life, so I know what somebody's thinking and how it feels to go through a certain thing, because of the experience. And I just let them know that it's always hope. It's always light at the end of the tunnel. I've been in a position where I felt like, damn, ain't no way out of this, or man, whatever happens, happens, and that's a dangerous mindset to have. And so many of our people have that mindset, and then they get up, they end up getting killed or in a bad situation, and then they do something, and now they can't come back from it. You know what I'm saying? So just very mindful on how I word things. I ain't glorifying them, but then I don't want to go too high, and now they talking about, oh man, what the, and they can't relate to it. So I had somebody tell me the other day, man, people are, you do a great job. I feel like your balance is like perfect with it because people can relate to it, and all people can relate to it. And you don't make it too preachy or so religious. You make it realistic, which I'm not a religious person. You know what I'm saying? I study life, and I don't like this and you are this and I'm a that. So you can't. Hey, the best religion I'm taught is to want for your brother what you want for yourself. That's the golden rule. Treat people treated. That's what I live by.
Knowing that, and knowing that you're on a journey, continuous growth. What does legacy look like in your garden? And that could be artistic or personal.
Man, I think about that every day, man. And I don't stay on that thought, right? Because complacency, that you can be stagnant just thinking about. I'm so caught up on producing and working that I don't sit and think about all of the great, because I do so much and I don't broadcast everything that I do. And right now I got sons. I'm already, in the future. When I was younger, around 18, I didn't think I would make it to 18 first and foremost. But I told myself when I had children, man, when I have children, man, whatever happens, happens. I know that I'll live on through them regardless. But now, I didn't have guidance. I could be so much further if I did have that proper guidance. So now I have something to live for. Hey, my sons are this, man, they learning. My sons teach me. I learn from them. They learn from me, and it's just a cycle. It's a continuous cycle. And now I don't care about the accolades of this world. And Roc Nation, this and Jay Z did a song with them Puma shoes. It's great, but how do people remember you? I want to be known, and this is what I'm known as right now. But I want to continue doing it. I inspire people to be better. I inspire people to. I give them that hope, and this is not me saying. This is I got people that come and call from all over. Man, thank you for this, man. Just saying special and this and that. Kind word.
What a great legacy to be remembered as someone who inspires others and gives them hope and improvement along their journey as well. What about your creative process? Are you a guy that carries a notebook? Are you pen and pad all day long, or do you have focus sessions? I know we talked about other jobs, gardening, fatherhood, right? You're pulled in a lot of different directions. How do you get those ideas on paper when they come up?
Great question, man. I had somebody ask me in Los Angeles before. He was like, you know, what inspires you? And I said, life, literally. I don't mean that to sound like Hotep and all so spooky and Gandhi. No, really life. Um, I'm not always creating music. I've created so much music. My catalog is so vast. I got songs that people probably never hear before. But, but, you know, when I do start to create, I write. I don't do the notepad. I used to. When I was younger, when I first started off writing, I wrote to no beat, um, and I just had a note. I would be writing lyrics, trying to scratching things out with a pen, specifically scratching things out. And my brother Kadir Golden Child, he's the one who showed me, you could do it on notes on your phone. And I tried it, didn't like it. I need my pen and pen. But then I'm traveling, I'm all over studio sessions with different people, and if I feel like it, I'll say, hey, I need a notepad, or I'll just do it on my phone.
Like two different muscles,
yeah.
Writing it out versus speaking it out. You got to really flip the switch.
And they say when you write something out, you retain it a lot. But I do enjoy writing. I've been writing some wonderful songs actually. I retain a lot of information here.
And are these songs or these bars, or you teasing us with some more vocal flow? Or
listen, I'm doing it all, and it's so important that you ask that, because I'm about to lock in. Right, I do so many different things, but when you honed in on one thing, it's just so much better. You just put more effort and time into it. But I write all the time. I do it in my sleep, and I don't need the beat to be playing physically or out loud to write. As I was working earlier today, I was writing bars, and I remember a lot of things because of the way I eat, and I don't eat as much as I used to, so I'm a lot clearer, right? No fall really, but it's different. I don't have a structured creative process.
And what about, do you prefer being in the studio, or do you like live, or a little bit of both?
I was forced to do live, and I appreciated that. I had a little bit of practice before, but when I was doing these shoes with Puma, we were doing some music, and it was a few artists flying in from everywhere. You gotta do it right there. We were in a studio that Kanye recorded Donda at Pink House Studios in LA, and it was a ton of us. It's filmed, the cameras are out, everything. So they're watching my creative process. Me, I don't like anybody to see my raps prematurely.
Yeah,
I don't even want them to hear. Now let me hear what you got. It's not complete because I'll change something. But doing that, being put in that situation, something gotta click here. Hey, what's you gotta be able to adjust. What's the problem? You great at what you do. I heard Drake say, he said, man, one day, he said, man, it just clicked for me. Like, bro, I'm great at what I do. Like, I don't have to, be timid or nervous or wondering or thinking about how they will react to what I say. You gotta know it for yourself. And I have people come up to me and say, man, what you think about this? Should I change this and then? And I tell them, do you like it? It don't matter what I say. It don't matter what.
All right, we may have gotten a call from Tyre or lost him on a call. Great time to remind you, if you are a gardener or thinking about gardening or just looking for a gift for a gardener, we've got the QR code in the top right, and want to make sure that you understand that you can use that QR code to get a free seed kit as part of our 100,000 in 10 years. We're trying to get people growing their own food. We love talking hip hop. We love talking bourbon, but we really love teaching gardening. And tap in at YouTube at Beats Beds Browns. Full library of interviews, short videos on how to grow, how to maximize getting food that's grown by you, for you, pesticide free, chemical free, It's all very important to us. And again, tap in at Beats Beds Browns. Visit beatsbedsbrowns.com for your gardening or seed kits. And we'll make sure that you get those free seed kits at, again, beatsbedsbrowns.com. And it looks like Tyree's back. There he is.
Please forgive me. I get caught. I was trying to see. This is the new phone. I need to put this dang thing on do not.
It happens to us too. Sometimes we'll be on stream or whatnot. You get a call and everything goes crazy, right? Everything goes haywire. So it was a perfect time for our next question, right? So, having the ability to sing, having the ability to spit bars, how has your voice evolved, lyrically, emotionally, spiritually over time?
First and foremost, my teacher taught me, he said that the more you develop yourself spiritually, the better everything you do will be. And that's a fact. So I grew up rapping and singing, but singing first. Mother grew up in a choir. We didn't grow up with everything. We didn't have cable and things, games. We didn't do that. So for fun, for us, we would harmonize. We would act. We made our own plays, and we went to different churches, and people come out to see us. Like the Jackson Five, so many families and people across the world, the United States, call us the Jackson Five, my family, because we all are very talented. All praise due to all. But I started rapping, and people were like, "Oh my God, bro, this dude is ridiculous." I can't
imagine the musical background with the dictionary of terms and thesaurus, the ability to draw from that and to vocalize your experience. Obviously, it leads to some really powerful music, man.
I truly thank God for it, because, hey, man, I didn't know that I would be here today. I didn't know why I was so in love with words. I just was in love with them, and you're right. It's crazy when I was I was in Boston with Emery and some people from Roc, and we were at Puma headquarters in Boston, and they were talking about what artists inspire you, and they asked us, they wanted to know what music we grew up on. I told them R&B, and I got the name, Sade, Anita Baker, Jill Scott, Mac Womack, Fleetwood Mac, so many just real music, right? And that's real music. It's literally real music. You don't have anybody really doing that today, especially not with rap. And I told them, I said, honestly, and everybody was like, "Why? That's true." I said, R&B, and I'm grateful to have grown up with that background first, because it makes you a better rapper. You're literally in those songs that we hear, the great 70s, 80s, 90s, and even early thousands. It was a message behind what they were saying. It was structured. It was a point that they wanted to get across. Nowadays, we're rap.
It's all character driven, like you mentioned earlier. It's unbelievable.
I went from talking about money to shooting to this girl to this to that. Like, what are we talking about? It's no thought that can be followed. Yeah. It's scatterbrain, essentially. So I say, I thank goddamn, and I just reflect like, damn, thank you, that I grew up that way, and I got to give it all to my mother, literally all to my.
We never know the path that we're on until it reveals itself. Isn't that true?
No, man, literally, that made me the rapper that I am today. Facts.
Who's someone in Chicago that deserves more flowers? Figuratively, literally.
I would say the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. True story. True story. When I tell you, man, we don't do what we do for flowers, but we do so much great work because of the great work that he's done. And like I said, I didn't grow up with my dad physically. He's alive, but he wasn't in the household with us. But I grew up in Islam thanks to my mother. And I always would be like, man, that's my father, Louis Farrakhan, my spiritual father. And he developed me just listening to him. I study him. I listen to his words. I watch how he responds to people when they come with problems and crap. I watch how patient and gentle he is with women. I watch how he teaches or reprimands with love. I watch how careful he is with his words. I watch because it's like, damn, you know, people, if somebody come your way with some nonsense, man, you're gonna meet him with that same level of resistance. But I see him go and put some water in the fire, and then damn, now they're the best of friends. This person that just was really wanted to kill you. I said, that's some power. And I started to adapt his ways. I started to learn more about him. I'm like, God damn. And as Muslims, excuse my language, we say all praise is due to Allah, the Most High, the Creator. That's what we say because, you know, I have people come up to me, man, you the great man, you do this. Ooh. Hey. Yeah. Wouldn't be this way if it weren't for God and the people that He had put in my life and placed in my life. I don't want the praise and act. But like I said, we don't do it for that. But Him, man, He inspired, and He's going to continue to inspire generations after, you know. But
I mean, that may be the answer to my next question in terms of how you stay grounded. You know, you're talking about studio trips and flights and recording sessions with Kanye and other artists. And I can't imagine that that's a very religious or spiritual environment. Or maybe it is because of your reflection in that event.
Mm-hmm. Great question. I've been to so many places. And remember I said it's about you knowing who you are. Yeah. You got to walk in a room knowing who you are. I've walked in some rooms and I participated in the things that I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing. Not no weird, you know, that type of crap, but you know, this and doing that. But I knew I shouldn't have. But as I got older, and this is still traveling and meeting still so many different artists. I did a song with Rhapsody and Ethan Bear, my A&R from Roc, man. He's at Warner now. Great guy. We the same age too. And he been telling everybody about me for so long. Man, you gotta meet this. Yeah, kind of helped me get my deal. So that's part of the story, man. And Rhapsody comes to the studio. He comes in. Rhapsody's here. Right back. He goes and says what she says to him. He says to her. She comes in. Man, nice to meet you, man. I heard so much about you. And that music is playing. He's just sitting there like this. He knew what was going to happen. Played a song that I was doing. And she was just sitting there listening to all the words and then looking at me and listening and putting her head down. And she stopped listening. And I didn't talk about Islam or Christianity or nothing on there, just my life. And she knew. She said, man, I hear you, very religious person, faith and this and that. Man, I love him, man. Would you mind? Can I get on it? I'm like, of course. And that was because I was being myself. Yeah. And it takes time to grow into yourself. I'm still growing into myself.
There's a natural confidence level when you walk into a room and you're not worried about what other people are thinking about you. You're just, I'm here.
And you can have that, in this one, anxiety and the things that you eat and you worry. Hey, man, listen. But experience gets you through that, and pain and struggle. And you got to really say, hey, I'm not going to keep up with no facade. Why not be myself? And, yeah, that's so great.
So we talked, again, in the green room a little bit about your green thumb. What's the role of land, food, and nature in your mental wellness or daily rhythm?
So, we're taught that essentially you can get everything out of this earth that you need to sustain your own life. Food, shelter, clothing. And if you're not tapping into or pulling out of the earth or extracting what you need, then you're dependent on someone else to do that. And we have a garden, little mini farm. We got a few big farms, but we have one on Stony Island, 7351 South Stony Island. Tons of chickens, eggs. They produce the eggs. I'm talking about hot red peppers, zucchini, eggplants, butternut squash, got some asparagus out there, garlic, all types of crop.
And is that all personal consumption, or do you guys distribute that to the community? Do you sell it?
The way some people, one of the sisters who was there, she makes this pepper jam. Put that on a sandwich. Oh man. So many. Then we have students. They come over and then they sit in the garden and they learning how to garden. I'm talking about from K through 12.
Amazing.
And then we go out. Hey, you want to get some breakfast? Let's go get some eggs. Cooking. Just showing them like how to be self-sufficient and how to till the land.
I mean, kids today think chickens come from the store. They think chocolate milk comes from brown cows. You know what I mean? Like, you got to show them.
Exactly. And how would they know if they didn't have a teacher?
Somebody's got to teach them, yeah?
Somebody got to teach me. I didn't know all of these things, and I appreciate. That's why I said it's all praise due to Allah for guiding me and sending people in my life for me to be at this point. But we were talking about how life and the process of life is synonymous to gardening and growing. Everything in this naturally. Everything develops in a process, right? You can't. As a teacher, you can't teach one specific way in a classroom of 50 and expect all of them to get it. Everybody, you may need to say it one time and people get it. You may need to say it 3 times for this person to get it. This person may never comprehend what you're trying to say. And as a teacher, it's so very important for you to be refined, because you can deter someone's development process on how you respond or get upset. Why are you not getting this? And it's so important to teach with love, man. Love trumps all. And that struggle, that process of growth, planting the seed and it having to go down in the ground first, then to sprout up, the proper environment, planting at the right time, truth out of due season bears no fruit. That's in the scriptures. All of it is synonymous to the life. And you can be in a situation where somebody is telling you the truth, what you need to hear. I had some brother today, he reached out to me and he's in California. He says, man, because people call me for advice on a lot of different things. He says, man, bro, I knew exactly what he was talking about, but this is how he came out the gate. Man, sometimes things take time to germinate, or things take time to uproot, or just to. He was saying that I gave him some information that he needed a while ago, but he was just now starting to realize why I was saying what I was saying, and I was teaching him with love. We need tough love sometimes. Sometimes we need to spank him. Sometimes everybody's not gonna get it right, but I gave him what he needed. And he called me now and appreciating how I taught him and what I said, because I've been through that. I've been through what you're going through. I've had the stubborn thoughts. I've been resistant before, but I know what will penetrate. And love is the greatest force, like I said. So when you let them know this, I'm not coming from a place where I'm better than you or this or that. It's because, hey, I've been there and I know what you're going through. So
if you don't reach back to give that hand up, then somebody be looking for a handout, and you got to be able to bring them along with you.
Bottom line. Exactly, man. Wow. Facts. And I love it. There's no facade. I love helping.
It's evident. Yeah, no, I can tell. And not only your content online, but your character coming through the video. And, going back to creatively, you can select one collaboration with someone alive, dead, etc., music, growing, storytelling. Who are you choosing, and what are you guys doing?
I gave this answer before. Lauryn Hill. I'm doing some music with Lauryn Hill. This was my mom's favorite rapper, favorite artist. So I know her music front to back as well. But she was so skillful, is so skillful, and so intelligent, man. And she does not make music for herself. And when I listen to it, she's inspiring and invoking a positive emotion in the listener, So I listened to her and I'm like, man, if I did one, and I don't say if, when. That's what I say. You can bring these things into existence. You will it. I willed myself signing a deal with Roc Nation before I even knew Jay, this person, this. I got a video. I'm gonna send it to you outside of this. I mentioned it. I mentioned Kanye and Jay-Z in it, and both of them have something to do with my career. All praises to. But I willed it before any conversation, connection. I said what happened. And I want to do something with Lauren here. We're going to do some music. I would love to do it.
That's just a concept of manifestation, right? Put the words out there and let it
absolutely. But the words again, the importance of words. Absolutely.
Nice. Well, trust me, I could stay here and dig deeper and talk all night, but I want to be respectful of your time. Would you be up for hard hitters and wig splitters? Our quick question quiz, do or die, yes or no, this or that?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll get the. All right, there's no wrong answers here with hard hitters and wig splitters. We're here with Tyre Hakim. We're going to jump right into it. Chill in the garden or work till sundown?
Chill in the garden.
Chill in the garden, my man. Garden playlist, jazz hop or boom bap?
I'm doing jazz.
Jazz hop. All right. Knowing that all the alcohol cooks out, we doing bourbon over vinyl or bourbon over firewood?
Firewood.
Freestyle or written?
Written. I'm great at both, by the way.
Okay. Basement studio or rooftop session? Basement. Yeah, it's you like it tucked away until it's polished and ready to go.
Basement, though, the greatest songs come in the core of the struggle, man. I love them.
Sample the classics or make it from scratch?
That's a good question. Because from a business standpoint, man, sampling costs some money. Making it from scratch, we've had to do that, and it saved us a lot of money. If I was a billionaire, sampling.
Sampling if you were a billionaire. All right, we'll manifest that as well. We'll both get there together.
Right.
Mixtape hustle or album rollout?
Album
rollout. Hype man or solo mic?
Solo mic.
Grimy New York sound or silky West Coast bounce?
New York. I love it.
New York. All right, we got room for one more. Garden party with Big Boy and Jid or grow mode with Nipsey?
You wicked for that one. That's a tough one. Nip, for sure. And now,
yeah, it's hard to go against Nip, man.
Yeah, but and it's not just because of his untimely death. I knew of Nipsey before the world knew of him like that, and he's a great, brilliant mind, and he grew up learning about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Message to the Black Man was he frequented that book, and that he was just so wise. Definitely, and so business-minded, man.
Community organizer, investing in the community, trying to put the hand up to reach out and give back to his community is man taken before his time.
Absolutely, man. Nipsey for sure. That's man, hell of a way to end.
All right, well, you survived the gauntlet, Tyre Hakim. You survived the interview. We can't thank you enough for your time. I'm going to pull you out in the green room. We can cut it up before we part, but I'm going to go ahead and close out the show, man. I really appreciate it. Final comments, share where they can find you, where they can connect with you, where you're performing, what's coming up. Go ahead, take your time.
Definitely follow me, if you please, on Instagram. That's where I'm mostly at Tyre Hakim. No spaces, no dashes, no underscores. TyreHakim. I am in the process of creating God Body Volume 2. I got 2 tapes that's going to drop before the official joint. And because I've been quiet for some time. But it gets greater later. Be patient. It's going to be definitely worth it. I got a few shows coming up in November. We're pinning some things and signing off on them this month. And upcoming tour with my brother, the Unity Tour 2026. Stay tuned.
Awesome. You heard it here first at Tyre Hakim. We're going to pull you out, close out the show, but I definitely want to chat with you before you head off. So give me a minute here. All right. That was season 6, interview 1 with the fantastic Tyre Hakim, spiritual, lyrical gardener. You got to love it. If you want to be a gardener too, if you're wondering how to grow, get your free seed kit. Again, we can connect at Beats Beds Browns or via beatsbedsbrowns.com. We're going to put the QR code up so that you can scan that as we close out the show. Again, our goal is to give away 100,000 seed kits in the next 10 years to get more people growing their own food. You can start whether you've got a coffee can, a couple pots on a back deck, or whether you've got acres. Grow your own food. It's healthier. It's better for you. And I hope you enjoy yourself. Thank you so much for joining us. And I look forward to connecting with you on social again at beatsbedsbrowns.com. Happy planting.